Hi, good morning, and welcome back to Create, Share, Inspire podcast. This is episode, is it 622? How did I forget already? I just looked at it. 622. I'm Kristin Omdahl, and welcome back to my beautiful tropical backyard. If you're joining me live, please say hello. That scared me. Uh, just wait a few seconds for people to pop over from pre-chat and notifications. Hi, Cindy and Thea, Nora Sue, good morning. Welcome back to Create, Share, Inspire podcast. Hi, Naomi. Oh man, I missed a whole bunch of names. Let's see. They went by really quickly. Hi, Joe, Christine, Jill, Constance, Barbara, Marcia, Judy, Patricia, Sharon, Joyce, Rita. I think I'm caught up now. Maybe. Okay, hi Jackie and Lisa and Chris, good morning. Yes, my top is done. The Fernanda crochet top is done. The pattern is published on my website. Hi Lorraine and Carrie. There is a link in the video description to download the pattern, and I will be posting a tutorial video hopefully later today. Hi Karen, hi Val. It'll be either today or tomorrow. I really love how it turned out. Thank you. Yes, Barbara, I'm wearing the Fernanda. I'll stand up so you can see the whole thing. So it's a side-to-side construction, meaning you start making delta flowers along a strip, and then you work sideways in stripes of double crochet and mesh, and then you finish with another set of delta stitches. And so the front and back are identical, and so you sew the shoulder seams, and then I made little tassel ties here and laced up the sides. The pattern includes written instructions and charts for the tank top in multiple sizes, and you also get instructions for turning it into a poncho if you'd rather have. So it could be this wide instead and have a shoulder seam down here and then be left open as a square poncho. So either way would be absolutely gorgeous. Thanks, Judy, for posting a link to the pattern. So the pattern's $1.99. It's a PDF download. It includes written instructions for multiple sizes for the tank top and for multiple sizes of the poncho. I also list the generic sport weight yarn yardage for all sizes of both pieces, and then tell you how many balls you would need of Be So Sporty yarn or Be So Sporty bling yarn for either of the projects in any of the sizes. I made this in Be So Sporty yarn in colorway Fern Forest, but you could do it in any color. Any of the colors of Be So Sporty would be beautiful. Any of the colors of Be So Sporty bling would be beautiful. It'd be great as a tank top like this. It would also be great as the poncho. It's super easy to make. I mean, you have to learn how to do delta stitches, but once you get the delta stitch down, this section here is extremely easy to do. Thanks, Joyce. I love it. I think it looks super cute on. Did I turn around and show you the back too? I can't remember now. I thought I did. I just love the way it feels. I love the way it looks. Ooh, Carrie wants to make it in rainbow sherbet. That will be beautiful. What a beautiful summer color. I did show. Okay, good. I'm having a different kind of a drink this morning. I'm drinking ginger ale and it tastes so good. I had a taste for ginger ale this morning, and man, what a treat. I don't drink soda very often, so when I do, it's such a treat to me. Thank you. I love the way it turned out. So when I sewed the shoulder seams, I specifically sewed them to accentuate the delta stitch. So I only sewed it where the actual stitches would join up, so it looks like a continuous piece. I mean, if you wanted to, you could actually make the shoulders, the front and back one piece, and then work. Anyway, that might be too complicated for some people, so zip it. Don't want to confuse anybody, but you could do the front to back shoulder seams seamless if you wanted to. Yes, thanks for all the links, Judy. I have those links in the video description as well, and it's pinned in the fixed comment, the permanent comments as well. I love the Delta stitch too, Marcia. Thank you, Leanne. I think the green looks so cute with white underneath it, with white jeans and a white tank top. I love green and white together for summer. So summery. Hi, Becker Boo Boo. Did you come to say hi to me? Oh, who's a baby? Oh, you want to say hi to everybody else? He has green eyes too. You want to show everybody your pretty green eyes? No? He just says, I'm not looking at that camera. I'm not looking at that camera. Oh, poor baby. Mama torturing you. Come here, show everybody how you like to be held like a baby. Who's a good boy? Oh, who's a good boy? Now you show them your eyes? Look at those pretty green eyes. He does not like to look at the camera. I don't know how he even knows there is a camera. But he's very difficult to photograph, that's for sure. He's a sweetheart though. He prefers to be cuddly off camera. That's okay. Me too. Christine, the video is not done yet, but what part did you have? The ties are just chains. Why do you have a hard time making the ties? Do you mean the tassel part or do you mean the chain? Maybe you mean the tassel. We sure do love our pets, Sharon. I don't know what I'd do without my babies. Oh, that's sad, Joyce. I'm sorry about that. Yep, he is a cutie. He's a sweetheart, too. All right, what's everybody working on this morning? Is anybody working on any crafting projects? Did anybody have any questions for me? Ah, Leanne, everything she makes has a little dog hair in it. As long as it doesn't bother you, that's fine. Jackie's working on the Paloma. That's awesome. I can show you what I'm working on too. I've made some progress on my Audra poncho beach cover up. Here's what it looked. The front is almost done, and I've been working on the back. I got 3 more motifs done on the back last night, which means I have 5 to go, 5 more large motifs to go, and then I'll fill in all these spaces with the mini motifs, like this one. That one here is missing from here. So I have 5 more large motifs to go, and then all of the mini motifs, and then edging. So definitely making some progress. This one is in Be So Baby yarn in colorway Ecru. So beautiful. I'm really excited about it. Yes, you could put the Delta stitch down the middle of this top, absolutely. And what's great is that because the pattern is written sideways, you start with the Delta stitches, but after working sections of double crochet and mesh, you actually begin these Delta stitches from the existing fabric. So what that means is you learn how to work after the Delta stitch here, and you learn how to work before the Delta stitch here. So between both of those scenarios, you could place another stripe of a Delta stitch anywhere in the pattern because you've learned how to work after it and how to work before it. Does that make sense? Because those are 2 very different things, and when you're applying different stitch patterns, it is important to know how you work before it and how you work after it. And so by working them on both sides of the fabric, the beginning rows and the end rows, you end up learning both techniques in this pattern, which is important for placing more stripes in, like even in the poncho. If you wanted to place in the poncho, I just made more sections of these stripes across the front, but you could absolutely add more Delta stripes in there too. It's all based on the same multiple, so it definitely works. Also, because of the nature of working into the sides of the Delta stitches to create the next section of stripes, by doing that, you also know how to add sleeves. So sleeves are not included in the pattern. This is a tank top and poncho pattern, but I did leave a detailed note towards the end of the pattern to follow what you did here to pick up and work to make sleeves if you wanted to make sleeves. And then the general rule of thumb is if you're adding full-length sleeves to a sweater, it's usually about 50% more yarn. And if you're unsure, you always want to just round up to make sure you get enough yarn. Yes, there are charts for both the tank top and the poncho, both included in the pattern. So the pattern includes multiple sizes for the tank top, multiple sizes for the poncho, written instructions for all of those components, and charts for both the tank top and the poncho. And then a side detailed note for how to add sleeves if you wanted to, including how to estimate how much extra yardage you would need for sleeves. I like keep the pattern is called Fernanda, and there's links in the video description and in the comments for where to find it. It's on my website. So one of the main reasons why I didn't think that I wanted sleeves on this top is because I wanted to lace up the side here, and if you notice, I've laced it very minimally because this is longer than I would probably make a sleeve hole opening, although in the pattern I do tell you where you would sew for each size if you wanted to make it a proper sewn tank top. But I did the ties because I really love this side vent and I love the minimal stitching in between. But that was my personal preference, and that's why I've given so many of those other options included with the pattern, because everybody's different and everybody is making things for different reasons. How many balls? I use 2 balls for the size that I'm wearing, but you'll have to check the pattern to see how much yarn you need for whatever size you're making and for whichever project. The pattern includes poncho and tank top instructions, and it includes multiple sizes for both. So all of that yardage is listed on the pattern page, so you can check that out even before downloading it. Hopefully that helps. Does it include details for making it tunic length? It gives instructions for the 2 pieces that I just told you. If you want to make it longer, you would have to add extra. You would have to add extra stitches. It's work side to side, so if you want it longer, you would have to work your original row longer. And obviously, if you make something bigger than as it's stated, then you would need more yarn too. What is a delta stitch? It is this beautiful flower pattern here. Isn't that beautiful? Another detail that I added to the pattern is that we used triple cluster stitches to create this pattern. But on the first row, this is the beginning, but on the first section of delta stitches, we have to work into the last leg of those triple three stitch clusters here to work that first row of double crochets. So it gives you the look of a 2-stitch cluster here. So to replicate that look perfectly for this size, we did the first row of the delta stitches in 2-stitch clusters and then moved on to 3-stitch clusters for the rest. And the reason I did that is because we had to work into one leg of the clusters over here to start the first double crochet row. So isn't it cool how you can adjust how you're doing it to mirror whatever happened on the other row? And you wouldn't think of that in theory as you're working a pattern. You say, oh, we used 3-stitch clusters on these delta flowers, so we'll use 3-stitch clusters here. Well, that makes sense, but once you have to work into them to work along the side to start your next section, you don't see that third leg of the cluster anymore. So I thought it would be really fun to really manipulate the pattern even more to make it look completely symmetrical from right to left side. Yep, there's lots of instructions on how to do the delta stitch. We've used it many times in many patterns. I have videos on how to do it in the round and in rows. And when the video comes out for this pattern, I will absolutely be showing how to do the delta stitch again. Thanks, Thea. I thought that was really interesting too. I was happy to be able to add that extra bit of detail into the pattern. Barbara, the pattern is listed in the link in the video description and in the comments, and you can also find it on my website in my crochet pattern shop. Thanks, Dorothy. I love symmetry too. I'm way more interested in symmetry than asymmetry, always have been. I like things in groups of odd numbers. Oh, Judy's posting a link for the Fernanda crochet pattern right now too, for whoever was just asking about it. It's right here in the live chat as well. Thanks, Marcia. It's super easy and it works up quickly. Really excited to show you the video. The video will be out either later today or tomorrow morning. So if you are hesitant to get started, just wait a few more hours and I'll do when the video comes out, you can use that for supplementing, following the pattern, and it'll be smooth sailing, I'm sure. Someone was asking about my mannequins. My mannequins are so old. All these poor girls have lost their heads. They didn't have heads. Actually, these aren't mannequins, these are dress forms. Most of them have lost their bases from different kids roughhousing around the house, and they've all lost their toppers here. I've thought about going to a craft store and getting some large silk flowers and at least putting a flower on the top of each one. And I don't know how you replace the bases or the stands either. So I have 5 mannequins or dress forms. 2 of them have bases, 3 of them do not, and all 5 of them are missing their tops. Isn't that so bad? But I don't know what I'd do without my dress forms. I use them all the time. They're really helpful for a variety of reasons, including just showing something that I'm not wearing. Yeah, I don't want to replace them, Lisa, but I would like to doctor them up. Oh, and then we have this little cutie too. We have our little wire miniature one. I think it's so funny how when I make reduced size samples from videos that they end up fitting her. Isn't that adorable? So she's got the Brandy cardigan on here and she's got the Paloma pullover on underneath. No, I have not finished the video yet for the Fernanda. Oh yeah, I could glue styrofoam balls to the top and then pin flowers into them. That would be really cute. Yes, I love that tiny mannequin too. She's adorable. Ah, Lottie just made my crochet cat toy yesterday. That's wonderful. Mine's around here somewhere. The kitties still play with them out here. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, you'll feel so much better once you see the tutorial. There is there's a little complication to working a triple 3 triple treble cluster, but once I show you, you'll be fine. Rita, lifelines I'm not familiar with in crochet. I have used them in knitting before, and sometimes I like them, but I do encourage them for anybody who is not happy or not confident in their fixing skills in knitting. The lifelines help for when you're having trouble fixing things or having trouble unraveling back in knitting. I feel pretty confident in my fixing skills in knitting work, so I don't usually carry lifelines because they take extra time, but the amount of time that they take to put in is very small compared to the amount of time you can lose if you're not good at fixing your mistakes. Because if you have to unravel the whole thing back, then you've lost all the time you've put into it. So you see the difference? So when using lifelines, they can be extremely helpful to speed up the fixing time. Does that make sense? Yeah, I don't see why you would need one in crochet. I can't think of where you would need one in crochet, but in knitting, yes. I think it's time to work on some new shawl designs. Is anybody excited about a new knitter crochet shawl coming up? I'm thinking that they might even be fun for future mystery knit along and crochet along. What do you guys think about that? You know, we'll see how the mystery crochet along goes this month. We're doing the mystery crochet along bag. Starts on Monday. I'm really excited about that. Hopefully you are too. Uh, no, Nora Sue, I don't have an estimate for how many balls it's going to take to finish this. I'm nowhere near done with it, so I really couldn't tell you that right now. Okay, I'm seeing lots of yeses for a mystery crochet along and mystery knit along in shawls, so that's exciting. I'm thinking we could do some mixing of stitch patterns and some mixing of colors just to keep it nice and mysterious. Um, Julie's puppy is being cuddly. That's nice. Now I was trying to figure out how to keep it a mystery, and the way to keep a shawl a mystery for a mystery crochet along is to combine different stitching techniques and combine different colors. I think that might be super fun. So I'll either do one in Be So Fine and one in Be So Sporty, or both in one or both in the other. Barbara would like to see more wearables for a crochet along. I have to wrap my head around that. I'm not sure how, are there mystery crochet alongs, or you just want a crochet along period? Yeah, I mean, I'm still wrapping my head around the crochet along thing. I'm way overthinking it. And I can't really wrap my head around doing wearables because of different sizes, but I suppose that's this, everybody just wants to work alongside each other, is that it? Too easy knitting for dummies. So you mean you want an easy shawl, I guess. Samantha's a shawl making machine. Nice. I love shawls too. I love lace shawls. Am I going to be knitting or crocheting? I'm talking about doing a mystery crochet along and a mystery knit along, and both of them being shawls. What's the mystery crochet along that starts on Monday? It's called the Cosmo Mystery Crochet Along, and the only secret I've given is that it is a bag, and it requires 5 balls of 5 different colors in Be So Baby yarn. There's information about it on my website. You can download the beginning of the pattern in my crochet pattern shop, or if you go to my blog, you can get all the details on that. And there'll be releases for the pattern. There'll be 5 releases. It's going to be split up into 5 sections. There'll be 2 releases next week, 2 releases the following week, and then on the 3rd Monday, the final the final pattern will be released, and each time one of those releases comes out, there'll be a tutorial video that comes out at the same time. So it's going to be around 10 o'clock every day, and those dates are listed on that page. And Judy just posted a link to the Cosmo Mystery Crochet Along, so whoever was just asking about that, the link is right there in the chat now too. Caroline's working on ear savers for face masks. That's great. Thanks, Rita. Yeah, I've got lots of projects going on right now. I'm still working on this cover up. I'm still working on the mystery wrap with 5 other, remember the Greek beautiful scenery photo that I showed the 5 colors? Is it recorded or must I join live? Melanie, I'm guessing you're asking about the mystery crochet along. No, it's not live. There will be 5 patterns, 5 sections of the pattern emailed to you. So once you pay for the pattern, it's $1.99. Every time a new section of the pattern is released, you'll get a new expiring download link to get the new section of the pattern. And each time it comes out, it'll include what was previously released and then more of the pattern being added. So like, let's say it's a 5-page pattern. You get page 1, then you'd get pages 1 and 2, then you'd get pages 1, 2, and 3, then you'd get pages 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then on the final release, you'd get pages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the total amount. Hopefully that's a good analogy and makes sense. And supplementally, I will be releasing a video on each of those release dates to help along with the pattern. One thing I wanted to mention though is, no, I gotta think that through a little more. I'll mention that on Monday. Never mind. The videos will be on my YouTube channel, and they are linked on the pattern page on my website. So if you're already subscribed to my channel, you'll get notifications every time they go live. And they'll just supplement whatever you're reading in the pattern. Thanks, Kim. I love that photo too. These are all great questions though, guys. Anybody have any other questions? Want everything to make sense, and I want everyone to feel included if they want to join. And if you don't want to join the Mystery Crochet Along, that's fine too. We do plenty of other stuff here. Don't feel like you have to join it. It's just something fun. It's a bright, colorful bag that I think people will enjoy making, and I know people like to work on the same things at the same time. But if you don't want to do it, that's fine too. We talk about lots of other things as well. Don't feel any pressure. Hi, Caroline. Can you tell I curled my hair with hot rollers this morning? Amazing, huh? So my fan, my long extension cord arrived yesterday. My fan will be arriving later today. So it looks like I have a pattern in interweave crochet for summer. I have no idea, Jean. I haven't designed for them in years unless they've repurposed one of my old designs. Can you tell me what it is? Yeah, the fan will be here later today, so hopefully by Monday we'll have a fan out here. That's going to be so fancy. No, I haven't started the hard bottom bags yet, Melanie. I was waiting on colors to arrive, and I'm still waiting on colors that I wanted to use. But when it makes sense, it will definitely get done. Simple Rurana. Oh, I think you mean a different magazine than Gina. You mean Crochet Magazine, not Interweave Crochet. You mean the Annie's publication. The Annie's publication crochet magazine, crochet exclamation point. I did design a beautiful crochet lace Ruana for their summer issue, and it's done in Be So Fine yarn and colorway Parisian Bordeaux, and it was painful to mail it to them because I loved it so much I wanted to keep it for myself. I don't have a link off the top of my head to show you, but it is in the current summer issue of Crochet Magazine. I believe I shared it on my website, on my blog. If I haven't, I should do a blog post sharing that. So thank you for the reminder. Yeah, it's really, really pretty, if I do say so myself. And simple. It's simple. It's done in, you know, flat pieces that are joined together, and because of the drape of bamboo yarn, you can make things simple and they still look like $1 million. So I love that. Hi, Tammy. Good morning. Does anybody have any other questions? So many great questions today. Thanks, everybody. I don't remember, I haven't seen the magazine, Gina, so I don't remember if it has charts. I know I made charts for it, but I don't know if they published them. I don't believe they return the items to me, Samantha. I don't. I've designed for them in the past, and I don't believe they returned the items. Have I crocheted a bolero with short sleeves? Yes, I've definitely done boleros before. Boleros and shrugs. In fact, if you look in my pattern, this top is in Be So Sporty yarn, yes. For those of you that weren't here at the beginning of the podcast, I'll stand up one more time so you can see it. It is a super simple construction of making two rectangles. You make the front rectangle, and then you make the back rectangle. And we sew up the shoulder seams, and the instructions will tell you where to sew up here for each size, so you know how much of a hole to leave for the armhole. But I also gave instructions for adding these tassel chain ties so that you can weave it, lace it up the sides, which I thought was very summery and casual. The pattern also includes multiple sizes for the tank top, a detailed note for how to add sleeves and how to estimate yardage if you wanted to add sleeves, and it comes with instructions for making a multiple size poncho. So you could make this much wider and make it one of those squared off ponchos by making two large pieces for the front and back and then sewing down the shoulder seam. So for $1.99 you get, I think, 5 sizes for the tank top, 5 sizes for the poncho, charts, written instructions, and then the detailed note about adding sleeves if you wanted them. So lots of information for $1.99, and I will be adding a video tutorial on my YouTube channel either later today or tomorrow so that you can get a feel for the Delta stitch and maybe some of the construction aspect of it. Somebody was asking where did I learn or when did I learn to knit or crochet? I learned both within a month of each other. I'm self-taught at knitting and crochet. I learned when I was pregnant with Marlon and living overseas in the Middle East. So I had no access to the internet, very limited access to patterns and stuff. I did have a 1-hour lesson with one of my grandmothers when I was 8, a 1-hour crochet lesson when I was 8, and really just had such a strong desire to make baby items when I was pregnant that I taught myself how to knit and crochet. And I've been doing it ever since. So he's 18, so that's about 19 years now that I've been knitting and crocheting. And I started my business working in the knit and crochet industry when he was 2. So 16 years in the business now too. No, there was not a lot of accessibility to yarn there. It was very limited. At one point, my mom tried to send me some yarn and some crochet hooks and knitting needles and little pamphlets from like Joann's, and it was right after 9/11, so it took I think it took like 8 weeks for the package to arrive, and man, was I, so anxious to get that package. I'll never forget that. It took so long because of, what was going on in the world at that time. Then a while later, I did end up finding a yarn shop there as well. Yeah, thanks, Lisa. It was a long time ago, but super fun and really fulfilling for me at that time. I was really scared and alone, and knitting and crochet really were comforting to me while I was pregnant and trying to figure out my life. And trying to figure out what I was going to do because my marriage was already falling apart. And the world felt like it was falling apart. Yeah, I lived in Israel, and I did learn how to speak Hebrew. I learned how to speak, read, and write the language while I was there. I also learned a little bit of Arabic while I was there as well. I made friends. There were Lebanese Christian refugees that I made friends with. There were Israeli Jewish people that I made friends with. There were Palestinian Muslim people that I made friends with. Palestinian Christian people I made friends with. And there were Ethiopian Jew refugees, as well as Ethiopian Christian refugees that I became friends with as well. In fact, I volunteered at one of the Ethiopian refugee camps when I was there. They had come from a place where they didn't even have running water. So one of the things that I taught them, in addition to teaching them English and things like that, is that I taught them how to use their dishwasher, use their washing machine, how to clean their toilets and their sinks, and different things that they had never seen before. So it was really interesting. In fact, Marlon's first birthday, we lived across the street from, at that time when Marlon was 1, his first birthday, we lived across the street from the Ethiopian refugee camp, and I invited a bunch of little kids over for his birthday party, and they had never seen cake before. So it was very exciting to serve this chocolate cake that I made to all of these kids who had never seen balloons and never seen cake before. It was pretty cool. Marlon was oblivious, he was one, but it was a big deal to me. So that was cool. Yeah, Israel's a melting pot like the United States is. Somebody said it's a diverse community. Yeah, it's very diverse. I knew people from Russia. I knew people from Morocco, Iraq. I knew people from Europe. I knew one of my friends was a Japanese girl who was she was Japanese, married to an Israeli, and vegan, and she taught me how to make sushi rolls when I was pregnant. And that's where I first got my ideas for making vegan sushi and making sushi without always needing raw fish. And it's because she taught me how to roll sushi while I was there. Yep, we're all just humans sharing this fragile planet, absolutely. What took me there? Neither. It wasn't diplomatic or military. I married an Israeli and we moved there shortly after we got married, and I was there for 3.5 years. So plenty of time to learn the language. It was a necessity to learn the language, actually. So I knew what was going on. I still understand a lot of it too, which is cool. Oh, not everybody got along there, but it was still a wonderful experience. Very humbling experience to leave the United States for lots of reasons. I try, Joyce. I try to make friends. I still have friends from the time when I lived there. I have a couple of friends that I still stay connected with on Facebook from when I lived there. And some people no, but some people yes. Melanie loved living overseas. Me too. I'm also happy to be home though too. I don't know, I kind of go back and forth sometimes. All right, but if nobody has any other questions, that was definitely a side tangent. I smell a skunk. Hopefully that's not in my yard. I don't want that coming here. Oh, anyway, thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. I hope you enjoyed my backyard, the birds, the kitties, the show and tell, chatting with me and everyone else. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. If you have any questions, leave them for me in the comments. If you want to like this video, share it with your friends, that would be awesome. Subscribe to my channel. You can check out a new video for the Fernanda tank top later today, hopefully. And we'll be starting the mystery crochet along for the Cosmo bag on Monday. And I don't know, probably more fun stuff by then too. So have an amazing weekend, and I'll see you same time, same place, Monday morning. Bye, everybody.